So I got myself one of these to put in my L405. Of course it was from China. I think it's Android 12. Land Rover Vogue it says here. Let's have a wee look and see. So it's the new type screen. Put that back in there for now. Put it over there. Let's see what else I've got in the box. That looks like the bezel that comes with it. All nice and neatly packed so they don't scratch it. And a whole bunch of cables, screws, sensors, little sort of speaker, and of course no instructions. So there's no instructions, so I'm going to try and just figure this out myself. Figure out where the wires goes. I hope it's not all in Chinese. This is kind of main plugs and audio and video cables. So looks like an antenna maybe. It's in here. That looks like a satellite aerial. Another couple of wee connectors. More cables, looks like a remote receiver. Looks like a wee cable connector, a PC connector. Don't know what that is. That looks like an aerial. It'll stick somewhere, and that looks like a speaker of some kind. So, right, so in the car, I think the first thing we need to do is to remove this screen and these two panels here, or these two touch buttons, left and right. This should pop off. This one comes off fairly easy because I've had it off numerous amounts of times. And quickly looking at it, there looks like 4. I would suggest T20s, if I can find the T20. That one there, let me just check that. So there's T20s. Just put a wee bit more light on that. So slacking them off. And we'll put these in our wee screw box, or screw tin. Now the other thing about these new screens are, which I don't know myself, is can you operate the massage seats, and what about the actual TV itself? And we've obviously got the rear screens in this car, so I'm not 100% sure we'll still be able to use them. Not that I've ever used them in this car because well, firstly because I don't have any young kids and I'm in the car myself, so I don't think I'm too worried about losing the facility to use the TV, because I never really watched the TV on it, and the signal's not great, to be honest with you. That one's a bit tight in there. So I'm not that worried about that. How is this one not coming out? The thing about the massage seats, come on, there you come. The massage seats work off the original screen, and this is obviously the HVAC panel that came earlier, the new screen obviously. You can press a button on here, it will bring up the menu on the old original screen for the massage seats, and they worked. So that was the only bit I was concerned about. The only thing I did have was a problem with the home button, which was up here when I installed this new screen for the HVAC, or the heating and ventilation system. So that was all. So I'm not too worried about losing that kind of a functionality. However, I'll just drop my camera. I don't know where it is now. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, there it's. So as I say, I'm not worried too much about losing the functionality of the TV or the rear screens. It would be nice if they worked. However, we can put this new Android, I think it's an Android 13 screen in here, and we'll see how it goes from that. So that's 4 screws out there. I'm wondering if this will just come off. Yes, so it's just a cradle. It comes off with these 4 screws, and each of these switch packs here have got a wee Torx at the top. So we'll take that off. Now I did ask the supplier for instructions, but a quick Google there and a quick search on some other stuff I'd been looking at, kind of got a good idea. So I might stop periodically just to reference maybe a video from the manufacturer on how to install this. Although the video is quite old, and I think they've made some changes since then. So they look as if they're just sitting there and popped in with a couple of wee pins. There you go, so that's the left one, and looks like there's a single cable, so I'm going to leave that dangling there now. I thought it might have said left and right on that. Can't see it anywhere, but we can see that's the way it goes. Is that the way it goes? Did I just pull that out there? Yeah, we'll keep that dangling there. I'll keep this one. Something come off there. Probably a wee bit of plastic. Okay. So I thought that would have said left and right on it, but it doesn't. Anyway, I'm sure I'll work that out. Where was I talking a lot of nonsense? Right, so we need to take 4 screws out here. Again, the T20s, I think. Take the 2 bottoms out first. And I'm not going to damage this in any way, hopefully, because if I need to put it back in, we'll put it back in again. Or if it doesn't work, I can always put the original back in, so I'll keep a hold of that. And just to see how the new screen performs, if I like it or not, and if I like the original, I'll just swap it back out again and put the original back in. And I've still got all the originally this HVAC system as well, so I can always replace it all and it'll all work. And if I ever sold a car, which is very unlikely because the price of these cars now have plummeted, so this car's worth more to me than anybody else. Are selling it for a ridiculously low price considering what it is and considering what I paid for this car. So I'll probably have this car till I'm dead, or I'll win the lottery, one of the two. Even then I'll probably keep it. So I've done a lot to this car, and we know it quite well. It's a very, very reliable car. Now let me see about this. Let's just pop out here. Again, I'm just fumbling my way through this here. I haven't really done a lot of research on it. It just looks like a wee tab there. I think this just needing to be popped out. This feels a wee bit tight, that one. Come on, and you come. It's just not wanting to come out there. Let's get a wee bit of persuasion at this side. There you go. So, let me see what I'm doing here. Just going to put them up there now. What I'm trying to avoid is to scratch that screen. That bit there, so I'm going to just tuck that in there in case I scratch all that. So if we take this out, let's see what we've got behind it. Oh well, it's probably better putting it up the way. Right, okay, that's a bit better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different connectors. There's a black, a white, a blue, a grey. They're the main big connectors, and these are the, I think these are optical connectors, and I think they're all colour coded. So I'll just start taking some of this stuff out if I can get my wee fingers into it. Let's go for that one. Let's see. That looks easy enough, that one. So that's got 2 orange cables. This is white. My fingers are too fat to go in there. It's white one, blue, and brown. Oh, grey, sorry, I don't know why I said brown there. These ones, you've just got to be very careful with these ones. I think these are optical, I don't want to break any of these connections. Right, okay. And there is the head out. I think that part actually comes and sits along here. It's just kind of tore off there. And what we really need to do is to take this into the bench, because we need parts from this to go into the new head. I think this part here, so we'll put that aside. We'll have a wee look in here. Yeah, so not much to that. What we need to do though is these connections here, these need to stay in the car connected. More so the left one, I think. In fact, I think the 2 of them do. We need to get them up here somewhere, up in there, just to tuck them up out the road. There's a couple of cables that come from the new one that need to go through here, like the USB or a SIM card. So take these off the now. I'll put that there, up here, like that. And I'll put this one up here, like that. They're fairly single plug. Can't see it saying left anyway, but anyway, we'll put them up here. The dots are at the bottom. And that's that for now, so fairly straightforward. At some point we are going to take this off, which is very easy. You just basically pull these, like that. These are the side panels for it. Still doing it now, I suppose. Just pull that there. And I might actually just take it off now, because I don't want to scratch that. These are held on. What did I do there? Must have touched that. If I remember correctly, there's 2 wee screws at the side here, and one here and one here. Because what we need to do is to get into the CD player, because there's a main connection in there that we need to get to plug in the whole thing. So first of all, I think what we'll do is we'll take this into the wee bench, and we need to disassemble some of the boards in here. We need to be careful about that, so let's go ahead and do that. So just a wee quick look at the new screen. I've just laid it on this cloth here to try and protect it. And again, I'm just sussing this out myself. That looks like there'll be some kind of antenna. That's for a SIM card, which will probably go to the glove compartment, I'd imagine, rather than actually inside, because if you want to change SIMs, you could probably just do it without actually taking the whole unit out. Otherwise that'll just pop open somehow. Definitely says SIM on it. And this will plug somewhere in, I don't know. But what you can see is how the holes here match the holes here. So we've got blue and white and blue, and the black and grey, and we've still got the corresponding holes here, white, blue, black and grey. There's something making a strange noise. And we've got our optical connections here that will come out here, so we need to take that part out there and put it in here. And I did notice there's a fan in this one, probably to keep that cool. and it looks like there's a wee fan in there. We'll get that off and I'll let you see that in a second. Okay, there's 4 wee screws on this. I'm trying to video this myself and do it myself, so hopefully the pictures are alright and the lighting is okay. So 4 wee tiny screws, wee Torx. I think they look like Torx 10s, I'm not sure, but I'm sure you'll find one to fit. I'm not going to make one of these videos where I tell you every nut and bolt and screw in detail that we use. If you haven't got a Torx bit to do this, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Get the right tools to do it. So 4 holding this on, I do believe. And we've got that last one there. Now I think what I seen in the car was this bit had that rubber bit on it. I think it's just to join these two together, but I think that's a wee bit of tape there. So we'll see if we can get that off. No, it's absolutely solid. Gee whiz. It is coming off, it's just that wee bit of tape. Right, okay, so that should come off, and this is where you've got to be pretty careful. Looks like a small ribbon cable, and I noticed there was a new one supplied, and in order to get that off, I'll try and avoid doing that, Raymond. See if I can peel that off there a wee bit. No, that's pretty tight. There is a wee, let me see if I can get that better picture of that. There is a wee black tab in here. This thing keeps wanting to fall. There is a wee black tab in here where you kind of push back and pull up. Now, I don't want to drop this, I'm trying to do it with one hand. Yeah, so it pulls back and that literally falls out of there. Let's see if I can get a closer look at that. Yeah, it's not the best yet. So this wee bit is flappy, the ribbon goes in there, I think it's blue face up, and that folds over and connects it together. You can see it's quite dirty in there. So that's the bit I think we don't need. I'm not 100% sure of that yet. The ribbon cable that came with it looks similar. So I think we'll probably need to take that off. So that's the screen part of that, and that's that wee fan I was talking about in here. So we'll put that over to the side, and what we want to get to is getting this board out of here. So I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 9 wee screws. I don't think there's any in here. So I'll go about and take these wee screws off. Why is that? I'll take these off. So maybe just speed this part of it up. I think these two boards, you'll see one sitting under here. I don't know how good the light is with that. You'll see one sitting under there and then one on top of it, and you need to kind of disconnect them. So I'm hoping that I've disconnected all the appropriate screws, and I'm going to just try and push in the back of these. Let's see if I can feel it coming out. There you go, it popped out. Let me just grab that if I can, and that board just slides out there, and there's the connection I was trying to pop out there, and that connection fits into these pins down the bottom here. So we'll need that, and I'm just going to put that somewhere safe now. And you'll notice this small pad here is where that processor was sitting on. So we now need to take this board out, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws I think on it. Because if you mess this up, I think we're snookered. And that board should come out of there, like so. And we'll just take the last screw out. I'll put you over there, and there's that small board. and that's the one with the 4 coloured connectors, or I think they're optical connectors on the back. Then we take our new unit, and that looks like 4 there, so there's probably the way this comes off. They look like tiny wee Phillips screws. So I'll take my wee tool, put a small Phillips on it. You can see them there. There's in there. Okay, right. I'm wondering if I take them off now. So they do actually clip on there, but they're very, very neat wee things. These, I'm sure I've dealt with something like this before on a PC or a mobile phone. These small connectors that pull off or push on, can't remember. So I think what I'll do is I'll just slacken them for now to get them out of the road, to allow me to put the board in this frame here. So that should allow us just to lift that right off. And there's our 2 wee cables there. So I shall put that back over here, and there's our case. Now I think we'll go that way, maybe better that way. That should go in like that. And all the wee screw holes, 1, 2, 3. I only see 3 lining up. It should look like that at the other side. Our connectors. So this is where I'll have bits left over. Yeah, that looks about right in there, but there's a screw hole missing here. No, there's one there, see that? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, let's change out our bit. So they're all okay, don't want to over tighten them, just make sure they're nipped up. So that's that in, and the other card goes on top of that. Probably like that. So we've got that wee connector here, wanting to connect into these sockets here, so that should go. I'm trying to put it that way so you can see. That should go in. I'm just going to be careful with this. It's just a wee fraction tight, I suppose. I suppose I could take that off. I could have. Would that make a difference? No, I don't think it would. But the bit we want to press in is here, to make sure that's actually engaged there, which I think it is. That's the sockets on the back. Feels pretty tight. Right, that's me got the boards in. It was a wee bit tight along here. I'm not sure if that's actually bent a wee fraction. It shouldn't affect it too much. The next job we need to do is to get that ribbon cable in here, and if I move that out of the road I'll get the new screen over. So that ribbon cable goes into the new one and into the old board to allow it to interface. But so I don't think I'm going to be able to get these cables in through there with that board in. That's a bit of a pain, isn't it? So the GPS is going to go in there. I'm going to struggle with that. Damn. So I think I'm going to have to take that back off, and I've got to get these 2 wee tiny cables in here whilst getting that ribbon cable connected to there. So So I think we'll put, and the fact that I've missed the processor, right, I've made a complete balls of that. I'm going to take that back off again. I forgot to put the wee heat sink on it, and I'll figure out if I can disconnect these from there and allow me to work with that. And I've got the ribbon cable in here, so I've got the wee heat sink pad on that. It just sticks on there, and I put that wee ribbon in that side. I'll probably end up taking that back off again, but you've got to be very careful with that. I think it's the blue side. I just need to check that. In fact, I'll check that now because I'm not 100% sure. So pick that up. So there's wee connectors on that side. Basically slot in here. So blue side up, that feels good. And we've put that down, that's that connected. So the blue side has not got the connectors on it. And that's to go in this board, that side there. So we have got that one up, it'll go in that way. If you really can see that. So we shall attempt to put this back in again. We've now got the two GPS and the 4G connection on there. They're slacked now. I can always tighten them up. It's just going to go in there like that. Well, that's junk out the road. I'm just going to be trying to be careful of these two cables. These two wee bits do come off and push on, but they're tiny, so I'm going to try and do it without touching them. And again, it's a wee bit tight, this one, and it's this connector here we're trying to get on. I'm just going to try and feel that. That felt good. So that's that in. So I'm just going to lie that there. Then I'm going to put the screws all back on again, and we'll come back to see if we can get this in. We'll either put it in there first or put it in there first. We'll see how we go. So the plan is now to try and get this cable into here, so it's going to go in that way. I wonder, is that going to go on there, like so? I think that cable comes out here. I'm just testing this now to make sure I've got the right orientation. That cable must come out. So there's two wee cables here. No, I think that's the wrong way, so we've got a big plug to plug in here. There's like twisty cables, so we'll go that way. So that's got to go that way. These cables come out here. That sits on there like so. Okay. And that cable must come out here and that wee space there, so it goes on that way. Dear, dear, dear. So now you need to get that, and you get that in there, that way. So I think I'll, oh God, please don't snap the cables. I'm going to try and do it like this. That feels okay, looks good. I'm surprised that went in there. And that's that ribbon cable on, GPS on. I'll just tighten that up, it should be alright. There's a wee keyway in that. And that goes in. And that's the old bits from that part here into the new head unit. I think all I need to do now is to put the new head unit in position and start routing some of these cables. I'm not 100% sure what that is yet. That's a strange one. So I think that's us ready to go back to the car. I'm going to take the HVAC system off because we need to get to that big bottom connector in there, and we'll cover up the buttons from the side of the original unit. So we will, and we'll keep this, and we'll get that wrapped up and put away just so we don't damage anything in case we need to put that back in again.